Richard Jewell is a biopic about Richard Jewell. He was a security guard working security during the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta. He discovers a backpack with a couple of pipe bombs in them, and he manages to save the lives of many people, and he is hailed as a national hero. However, when the FBI leaks that he might be the prime suspect in their investigation, the media paints Richard Jewell out to be prime suspect of the FBI, and his life just starts to go to shambles. I feel like, unfortunately, this movie isn't getting the recognition it deserves. This is directed by Clint Eastwood, and I can kind of see how people would be a little bit skeptical of Clint Eastwood movies at this point, because Clint Eastwood movies, at least the past few, haven't been that great. Clint Eastwood with this at least directs the movie as if he knew that this is a movie he wanted to make. It felt like he didn't really want to make the 15-17 to Paris. That just felt like kind of like a throwaway project for him, or something that was just there to give him money. This actually feels like he wanted to make this movie. It felt like he wanted to tell the story. This felt like he had a vision. It felt like his passion project. There was a clear direction that Eastwood wanted to take the story, even if that feels a bit messy at times. Let's talk about some of the performances in this movie. Paul Walter Hauser as Richard Jewell. Wow. What a performance. Great performance there. Everybody else in the movie is really good. Sam Rockwell, Olivia Wilde, John Hamm. They're all great in the movie. The movie is very good at portraying one side of the story, and that side of the story really makes for a more heartfelt and emotional story. It makes you feel bad for this guy, Richard Jewell. He's just kind of an everyday guy. He's a really nice guy. I bet if you met him in person, he'd be the nicest guy, but because the media is portraying him as somebody who is a prime suspect, the FBI and the media think that because he discovered the backpack, and there have been previous attacks where the person who discovered something was actually the suspect and was the perpetrator, they think it's him, but at the same time, understand what he's going through. Like, he's going through hell in this movie. In the media, this movie speaks so much to not only media in 1996, as just like how Tomorrow Never Dies spoke a lot about media and the consumption of media and media moguls and how crazy media can get. This movie does the same exact thing, and it's still relevant today, which is sad, because it really tells you to just don't bury the lead. Read the headlines, read the entire article. Nothing may not even be truthful. You really have to question the FBI practices in this movie because it's completely insane. But when you read about it, most of that was actually done, which is even crazier. The media portrayals in this movie of Richard Jewell, I feel, are accurate for the time and today's modern society, which is saying a lot about the age we live in. All the digital information, all the digital news we can get, all the media, all the mass media that tries to come up with a story as quick as they can. It speaks volumes to back then and today. As far as issues, the aspect of portraying Jewell as a suspect is very well done. It's just the aspect of portraying Jewell as the hero is very glossed over. There's barely any time spent on this. Maybe only like a couple minutes spent on this, and I wanted to see that aspect. I wanted to see more of how the media portrayed Richard Jewell as a hero rather than have this whole movie focus on him being the suspect, which I get was probably more of the story at the time. That's more the focal point of this movie, is to try and have Richard Jewell prove his innocence because the media has painted him out to be the prime suspect of this horrendous attack. But I think this film would have benefited more from a balance of both. Olivia Wilde's character in this movie, I don't know what that was. That character has sparked some controversy. I will not get into it. You can read it online. But she felt really cartoony in the movie, and at times unbelievable. And then she's very stuck up and just kind of laughs like It didn't work for me. It was one of those aspects where I was just like, I don't find this character believable. I don't find her believable as a journalist. Like, I don't believe a journalist would do this. I understand that they would go to great lengths to get a story, but that far, I think it's a bit far-fetched. And because, like, her character was just so stuck up, it felt cartoony with some of her dialogue. The movie also moves slow at some times. It feels like it's going nowhere, and then all of a sudden it gets really intense and emotional, as well as suspicious. And those were the most interesting parts of the movie, and Richard Jewell trying to have to prove his innocence were definitely the best parts of the movie. It was just, there are some slow moments, like it takes its time to get to the actual event. Richard Jewell is definitely a movie I think you should check out. It definitely paints somebody who is a very innocent man and a very everyday man in a bad light, and it makes you feel bad for somebody who is like that, who's just an everyday man who gets tortured and taunted by the media. And this poor guy had to go through so much. And this movie really gives you a lot of respect for the way he handled it, because he's so big into authority. I'm going to give Richard Jewell a B+. One of the better Clint Eastwood movies of the recent years. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more reviews coming very soon. I'll be finishing up my Star Wars reviews very soon. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I'll see you at the movies somewhere.